All right, so as soon as I turned off the camera from my last video, we came by this most amazing scenery, which has been half the trip. And it just every time I would make a video, there'd be houses to the left. So So there's no, what do you call it, like inspections for emissions here, obviously. And you can really put anything on the road you want. You can ride a four-wheeler, an ATV, you can build your own vehicle from scratch. You can just weld together a frame. And I've seen the craziest stuff on the roads. They have these things called jeepneys, and they build those from scratch. Not quite yet. Let's see, but you got to be careful because some of these people will race around these corners. You'll see these scooters or motorcycles trying to get their best time. They'll come around the corners ripping when you're in the other lane. Oh, look at that ocean. So we're still completely packed. The truck, the bed has got luggage. The whole bed of the truck is filled with luggage. The rear seats don't have an inch of space. So it's a quad cab, but the back is just totally, I don't know if you can see, but we're all jammed up in here. And man, the barbers here, oh my gosh. It's like under $1.50, 70 pesos will get you the most badass haircut and beard trim. Nope, here we go. See what lane he's in? See, they're just driving the other lane. It's crazy. Yep, run out there. Yeah, so back to the luggage. I have an Insta360 and a GoPro that I planned on using just for vlogging, but they're packed, and we did not have any space to unpack. So we've been kind of operating out of our little backpacks for, God, how long have we been on the road now? 18 days? Yeah, this trip started on the 1st. And we have been either in an airport or a hotel or a condo for 18 days now with a ridiculous amount of luggage, like more luggage than I've ever taken on any trip ever in my life, which has been the only downside of this trip so far. Other than that, it would have been amazing, is just dealing with this luggage. But we are almost at our final destination, which is Valencia, just above Dumaguete, which is Dumaguete's is right on the ocean, for those of you who aren't familiar with it. But Valencia is a little bit up in the mountains, which gives you a little bit cooler climate. So we'll, you know, a lot of people there don't even run their air conditioners. It's just the perfect temperature year round. Look at that, oh my gosh. For those of you who don't know, the Philippines is over 7,000 islands. So whatever constitutes an island, right? Over 7,000. I've heard as low as 6,800, and I've heard as high as 7,200.
It's more than 7,000.
But yeah, more commonly I hear more than 7,000. But I guess tide can change that number, right? Or look at this. They'll come within an inch of you, man. It just, they're really proud of their ability to just squeeze by you. So future videos should have a better quality. And I tell you, again, this is my first diesel. I don't remember ever owning a diesel, but one thing I love, and this is a turbo diesel, it's a 2.5 liter, is how effortlessly they climb hills. You don't even have to give more gas. You can be going flat and start going uphill, and they just, the torque of a diesel is underappreciated. I am, yeah, I'm a diesel fan again. Now I know what Dennis got hooked on. My buddy Dennis. Man, these views are just, I can't keep it in gear. So Ushi sleeping right there. She is asleep. And she keeps, her butt keeps knocking us out of gear. We don't have any room. I wanted to train jiu-jitsu while I was in Cebu, but the traffic, it just wasn't worth it, right? Like fighting that traffic, I don't know how anyone could train. There was a couple schools I wanted to visit, but it's just not worth fighting that traffic. And some people said the traffic is worse because of Sinulog, which is the Cebu's biggest festival and one of the biggest, it might be the biggest festival in the Philippines. I'm not familiar with a bigger one. But they just have a much higher influx of visitors right now, and the traffic is crazy. All right, whoa, watch out, buddy. So we'll see what it looks like in February or December. Like, the goal is to return to Cebu monthly. We had all of our belongings shipped to Cebu, so we have to every month make a trip to pick up whatever boxes are there. And I will say that optimally, you know, a truck's nice because we've bought I bought a commode, we've been moving boxes, all of our luggage. Like a truck's a must-have. But if I buy a second vehicle, it will be like a Kona or something really small, because just navigating in the, you know, roads are smaller, everything's smaller here. Oh, look at that view. Yeah, see that. So my next purchase, I think I've talked about this, but My next purchase is going to be a scooter, and I thought long and hard about it. You know, some people buy motorcycles, some people buy street motorcycles, some people buy dirt motorcycles, some people buy enduros, some people buy scooters. And I'm going to get a scooter because I'm mainly going to be riding it in the city, and the scooter is the most comfortable. They have way bigger padded seats, and 150 cc's plenty. But I do plan on riding around the island, or several islands, on whatever scooter I buy. As many as I can. Should be fun. So I'm here on, this is the first time I'm here on a 13A visa. So being married to a Filipina has its perks. I don't have to renew visas anymore. And it's a 1-year conditional visa that converts into a permanent visa. And then I just renew it every 5 years, and I can just stay here indefinitely. And I will probably make a video about that experience. That's not an experience. Their immigration office is awful. It's sad to say. They're nice people, but I'm 100% certain that I could go in there in day one and at least increase efficiency by a factor of 2, at least, like bare minimum. And I'm confident that in a month I could increase efficiency by a factor of 10. I'd have to go in and explain why it's the most disorganized thing I've ever seen in my life. Even Chin was just like blown away. Every foreigner there, their jaws were just on the ground. Like, how can you possibly be this inefficient? Like how do you do it? You have to do it. You couldn't intentionally be that inefficient. We're 10 minutes away?
Yeah.
So we're 10 minutes away from the ferry.
It's going to take 30 minutes to 45 minutes to the other island.
And then we'll be a 30 to 40 minute ride to Negros Oriental, where Dumaguete is. So that's the island we'll be right, you know, up until now I've always visited, well, primarily Cebu. I've also been to Davao and Manila and a few other places, but this will be my first time to Negros. And people had always told me, the older expats that I would meet when I used to come here before would always tell me the same thing: go to Dumaguete, go to Dumaguete. And I know why now, that there's vloggers, right? When I was here before, they didn't have vloggers. 2009, 2010, there was no such, I don't remember vlogging at that time. It wasn't a concept in my mind. But it's a slower pace. It's like if you're 20s and 30s and you want to party, you go to Cebu. They've got clubs on every corner. Or if you really want to party hard, you go to Pampanga. You go to Angeles City. And if you just want a medium party, you go to Cebu. But if you just want to relax and you want to have nice meals and you don't want to be stranded in traffic, then you want to go to Dumaguete. And if you want to retire, you go to Valencia, just a little bit outside of Dumaguete, where it slows down just a little bit more. So that's where we'll be. Wow. If you want to find us.
Look at that.
What's going on here? You stopped?
I have no idea.
So I've been driving and holding this. Hopefully I'll have a mounted setup here soon. But I don't plan on using the truck a lot. I think the truck will be if it's raining. For the most part, I plan on getting around with scooter. And my daughter wants me to get a tricycle. We've been riding around, we've been taking trike rides, and she loves it. She's like, Dad, get a tricycle. So you can find an old one everything secondhand here is so cheap. And unfortunately, you can also go to the banks and buy repossessions, or you can go to a pawn shop and buy pawned scooters and motorcycles, and they're just a fraction of what they are new. Now other people would squeeze in here, and I could, but I'm not in a rush, right? I'd rather just take my time. But you'll watch some of them. They'll know. I mean, I just got this truck, right? But there's no question. Some of these guys know their truck to within an inch tolerance, and they will come next to you again and again and again, and I'll swear they're within an inch of me. They're within an inch of my vehicle, and I consider myself a skilled driver. I'd put myself on the higher end, right? But some of it is I just got this vehicle, so I'm still learning the dimensions of it. But man, these guys have no mercy. They will show you zero mercy. And they will show you just how good they know the dimensions of their vehicle. You will. There's been at least 100 times when I thought for sure I was getting hit. I thought for sure I was going to have a dent, a scratch, a bump. Nothing has hit my vehicle. I've been in traffic for hours where vehicles are just all around me within 3 inches, and there's not a new scratch on my vehicle. There's not a bump. They're used to it. But that's one of the reasons I didn't want to get a new vehicle. We really thought about a new vehicle, and I just thought, until we get used to it, and until I see what the driving's about. I've driven here before, but the traffic has gotten worse, and I just said I'll be stressing if I have a new vehicle. So we went with a 2018 Nissan Navara, which I don't think we have in the US, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm totally digging the Nissan. See, look at that. Look at that. Do you see how close he goes? Look at that. Within feet of the dude coming the other direction. But you know what? The dude coming the other direction, he's not pissed. It's normal. He knows the guy's gonna get over. He's not like, if it were me, I'm the dude in the other lane, I'm fuming right now. I'm like, but that is their culture. That is what they do. So earlier when I'm driving, you're from the US, one of my friends from the US, you're thinking, how crazy I'm driving, but it's just their culture. They're totally used to it. So we're almost at our destination. We're in a place called Santander, and that is where we'll be catching our ferry to Dumaguete. Super excited about getting to our new condo. So this particular place we're going, this condo we're renting, because we're gonna buy land and build. We're gonna build something amazing. So I never set my mind to learn Cebuano. I mean, I've been going there, and I always knew I had a vocabulary of words that I just picked up, I don't know, I never counted them, I don't know, but I knew a decent vocabulary. But for the last 3 or so months, I've been studying about an hour a day, and I'm fully committed to mastering Cebuano to some degree of fluency. Actually, to whatever degree of fluency I can achieve. I actually want to see if I can master it. I want to see if I can learn to speak it like a Cebuano. So, minimum of an hour a day. And I am understanding, like, it used to just be I understood what people were talking about, but now I'm getting between 50 and 90%, depending on the conversation. Like, if someone starts talking about how to fix a transmission, obviously I'm not getting 90%, but if they're talking about how the weather was yesterday and they're going to the mall later or bar or whatever, but my understanding has went up significantly, and my vocabulary, according to Memorize, is around 5,000 words, so I'm super stoked about that. And just been working on conjugation and grammar.
That's where everyone goes. Turn left and no.
Not here? This is it. This is it. All right. Here we go.
600 meters, turn right.
Well, we're going to take you all the way to the ferry, I guess. We're almost there. We're like, how far? You're 2 minutes away. Sorry about that. But I'm practicing Cebuano every day. I'm drilling chin for, new words. Every time I ride around, if I don't know something, grass, tree, leaf, whatever, I ask again and again and again until I know it. And I'm determined that this time next year I'm going to be fluent. So that's my goal. That's what I want to achieve right now, more so than anything. And I want to drive around vlogging on a scooter and interact with people in their language. And if I should get a degree of fluency with Cebuano, then I'm going to work on Tagalog next. Look at this.
This is amazing.
Look at that. I think that's Dumaguete. I mean, that is Negros right there, Negros Oriental. Santander Pebble Beach Resort. I'm going to show you guys some resorts. The resorts here are crazy.
Right, then your destination.
I mean, they're absolutely crazy.
I'm gonna get the ticket. I think it's in here somewhere.
All right, so we're going to go in here and get this ticket. I don't see a ferry here yet, but apparently this is where we...
40 meters.
Somewhere here is where we load up. Space is not something they have a lot of in the Philippines. Like, space is a
the one for sure.
crazy premium.
Did I ask them?
All right, I'm gonna go over here. I'm just gonna park right here.
Yeah, ask info.
All right, we'll take some video from the barge
Wish you were
later.
here.